I am going to do this shaped card to look like a little baby shirt. I found both of these images in Design Space. I do not need this background layer, which is turned off to start with. So I'm just going to click on that from the layers panel and delete it. I also do not need the hanger, so I'm just going to delete that too. The word baby has a shadow offset behind it. I'm going to turn that on because I do want to use that. I made it 3.5 inches wide, and now I'm first going to change the color of this to a really light pink. There we go. Now I'm going to duplicate that, move it above here, and flip it so that the shoulders basically are going to come together on this design. Now, when I go to weld these to make it a full card, it's also going to get rid of these little crease lines or seam lines, but I want to keep that. So I'm going to duplicate this and set that aside so I can add them back in afterwards. Okay, so now I will take that and say align to center horizontally. So now they're perfectly lined up and I can weld them together. Now I'm going to close that little gap there for the neckline, so I'm just going to use contour and turn off that section. Contour allows you to hide different sections. So now it's a perfect fold. Now for this one, I'm going to use contour, and I'm actually going to turn off the main piece and just leave these little lines. And I'm going to change those to be drawn with the pen. So now it will draw those on my card. I'm going to use arrange to bring those to the front. So because I want these to be perfectly centered, and that's going to be more difficult now that I turned off the outline of the entire shirt, I'm going to just go back into contour really quick. Turn that shirt back on. So now I can grab everything and say align this so the bottoms line up, and then align it perfectly centered, and now it lines up perfectly. So now I can contour that back out, and those little drawn lines are going to be right where I want them. So I'm going to do this, select everything and say attach. That's going to hold those drawn lines exactly where I want them. Now I go back to shapes and add a score line. Let's rotate that 90 degrees. And let's select all of that and say align that to be perfectly centered and attach that score line. Now I'm just going to size this down, arrange it to the front so I can see it. That's kind of big. And this word baby, I'm actually going to cut that out of vinyl and show you how you can layer vinyl on your cardstock, because if I cut that out of cardstock, it's going to be very tiny and delicate. And I think vinyl might cut better. So now it's time to hit make it and cut everything, and then we'll assemble it. So now you can see our shaped card, and you can really see those little lines that were drawn with the pen. They just add a nice little accent to the card, which I think is totally cute. Now it's time to weed the vinyl that I'm going to use to put the word baby on the front of the shirt. I like to use my pin pen. It's a great tool for grabbing those little pieces inside the center of the letters, which I always like to weed out first. I find that helps make my weeding of letters and shapes easier if I remove those centers first. And then after all the centers are out, then I can peel the excess away. And I literally mean peel. like this one's getting a little caught, so I just use my pin pen to kind of lay it down. And sometimes you gotta use your finger, but then you literally roll back or peel back that vinyl versus trying to pick it up. It helps it separate from the rest of the image a little bit better when you kind of roll it or peel it away in this case. So then once I get this one done, I'm going to move on to the light purple. Again, take out my centers with my pin pen. And sometimes those little pieces get stuck back down. You just kind of pick them back up. And then after that, we'll just peel away the excess to expose the entire word baby. Now here's my next trick. Glad press and seal. So go to the kitchen, get the Glad press and seal. Rub this down over the top layer of your word baby. I'm going to burnish it too. I'm using press and seal because I'm going to put this on cardstock. If I use transfer tape, that's too sticky. I'm going to tear up my cardstock. But if I use press and seal, it's got enough tack to transfer, but not too much where you're going to tear up your cardstock. Notice I am peeling the backing off. This is a huge tip. So make sure you peel the backing. Here's the hardest part, is getting those little suckers to line up. So I did kind of pull this off camera so I could get more on top of it and see it better. But yeah, line those up, and then you can see it's all lined up. I press it down. I'm going to peel off the press and seal just so you can see that's lined up real nice, and see how easy that peels off. And yay, it's all lined up. Okay, so now put the press and seal back on, because we have to put this on the cardstock. You can pull the press and seal and pull out those wrinkles there like I did. Rub it down. Burnish it, because we want a good stick. Flip it over. Burnish the back. And now this is my biggest tip. Peel off the backing. I think too many people try to flip it back over and peel transfer tape or press and seal up versus peeling the backing off of the vinyl. Alright, so now we can put this on cardstock, and you might get some static electricity, but you don't have to worry about the press and seal ruining your cardstock. And that just peels right off. And now you have this adorable little card with the word baby in vinyl. Before you go, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. I love to hear from you.